final thing I want to look at with you before you do the exercise is the different levels of marketing. And the first one is what Valerie, I thought, called rather well marketing 1.0. On the concept. Okay, marketing 1.0, it can be very technical. What you're trying to sell is the overall idea. This is an example. This is a gentleman from the ILO in Geneva, as one of our top specialists.
The exciting story is that we have a...
Who do you think that video is aimed at? Policymakers. Listen to the language he was using. He's talking about fiscal space and moving people out of poverty. So probably quite high-level policymakers. Yeah, could be. Maybe other international organizations? Academics? Possibly? Government? Yeah. I mean, it's very conceptual, isn't it? It's very theoretical, yeah? I mean, if you went out and you showed that to ordinary people outside this building, probably nothing, right? No effect. Okay. Now that's not a problem with the video. That's simply because wrong video, wrong audience, you know. But if you show that to a group of Labour ministers in Geneva, they probably think it's fascinating. They probably think it's interesting, okay, and relevant. So, that's the first level of marketing. Now the second one is focusing a little bit more on the product.
If the worst happens, what happens next? The loss of a job, a loved one, illness?
I'll stop it there because you've got the general gist of it. Now, how do you think the audience for that one differs from the first one? Is it a more general audience or still a very, very technical one? Slightly more general, yeah? It's not totally dry, is it? You're actually seeing some of what happens when social protection is implemented. But it's still talking quite a lot of technical language, isn't it? Statistics, schemes, structures, things like that. We see a few beneficiaries. Actually, we see the guy in the shop, don't we, who says, this is good for me. So he's kind of a beneficiary. That's, I think, what we would call marketing 2.0, which is the focus really, a little bit more focus on the product, and a little bit of focus on the beneficiaries. And then the third one, which is marketing 3.0, is really when you start to focus on the drivers for change. The people who can actually, by changing their behavior, change things.
Healthy means different things to different things.
So how does that one differ from the second one? Who's that aimed at? Sorry? Yeah. And what does it focus on? Yeah, but what more does it focus on? It's on health, yeah. But does it focus on the social protection health scheme? What does it focus on? Yeah. Focuses on what it can do, what's in it for me, what's in it for the surfing granny, and the guy who you thought was doing his exercises, but in fact had his kid. So you've moved, you see, from talking about the scheme and the modalities and the architecture of the scheme to talking about the real outcome of the product. And for most people, this is what social protection is about. Let me show you one more, which takes it kind of even a step further. Because this one, it had a few figures in it, right? 98p a day, that's kind of like $1 US dollar and a bit, 120, 140. So it's got a little bit of practical information in it. This one, if I can find it, this one has almost no practical information, funnily enough.
Protect your family with life insurance. or Prudential.
Hey, Dad.
And that pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? Do we have insurance? Yeah, good. That is good, yeah? And that's the bottom line, right? If you're this kid or his dad, that's why you do it. And almost no mention there of any of the architecture or the structure. Just totally trying to sell you on the idea and trying to sell the dad on why he should do it. Interestingly enough, this ad, that ad is like about 30 seconds long, if that. And this was reshot in about 10 or more different countries around the world with, you know, a local actor and a local child actor, because the message is so universal. You know, in every country in the world, that message about the dad trying to protect his son can play out. And that's really, for ordinary people, the bottom line on social protection. And this father is one of the drivers for change that you will be trying to reach. Not the only one, but he's kind of at the end of the communication process.